Donald Trump on Zohran Mamdani?
You know, I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs.
It craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
In a historic and hard-fought election, Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old state assemblyman, community organizer, and self-described democratic socialist, has been elected as the 111th mayor of New York City.
That's a little of everything with Trump right there. First off, 100%, I believe he loves New York. He built his family, his fortune, his fame, all of those things as he was literally building the skyline of New York, right? At one time in the 80s and 90s, there was more Trump buildings than anything else, right?
A new focus today for Zohran Mamdani following his victory in the New York City mayoral election that drew over 2 million votes. He's hiring a transition team while more questions arise about potential roadblocks to his agenda.
In New York City, scenes of celebration as 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani is projected to become the city's next mayor. The progressive Democrat, a state lawmaker from Queens,
defeating former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent, and Republican Curtis Sliwa, with just over 50% of the vote in one of the highest turnouts in decades. Born in Kampala, Uganda, to Indian parents who fled political unrest and raised in Queens, Mamdani becomes the youngest mayor in more than a century, as well as the city's first Muslim and first South Asian heritage leader.
We will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves.
This is amazing. I'm like, New Yorkers needed to win. It's been a long year. We didn't get the World Series, but we got the best mayor possible to be able to tackle all the issues that we're suffering as a city.
I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs.
His campaign focused on sweeping progressive reforms, a freeze on rent-stabilized apartments, fare-free city buses, city-owned grocery stores to reduce food costs, expanded public housing, and a plan to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour by 2030. Funded by higher taxes on the wealthiest corporations. Throughout his campaign, he emphasized making New York a city for working families, not for billionaires.
Democrats are riding high this weekend after sweeping key races in New York City, New Jersey, Virginia, California, Georgia, and elsewhere. Former Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill said the results show frustration with President Trump piling up and offering optimism for the midterms.
I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands.
Donald Trump turns into a different person tomorrow. I think this trend will continue, and I think you're going to see. I've talked to a lot of people tonight, and there's people like Sherrod Brown that are very happy tonight. Yeah. There are people like Roy Cooper that are very happy tonight.
Yeah. During his fiery victory speech in Queensbridge Park, Mamdani drew national headlines by addressing Donald Trump directly, declaring, "So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up." A bold statement that drew cheers from supporters and set the tone for a possible clash between his administration and Trump-aligned conservatives.
Mamdani's win comes as Democrats sweep major races across the country, taking back governorships in Virginia and New Jersey and pushing through a key anti-gerrymandering measure in California.
That which has been shared with us as we have grown up, many of us in New York City. If you are not at the table, you may find yourself on the menu. And it was a Muslim brother in Malcolm X who reminded us that sitting at the table does not make you a diner.
President Trump has refused to take responsibility, blaming the defeats on the government shutdown and low Republican turnout, but party insiders call the result a wake-up call. Trump reacted to the win on his social media platform Truth Social, writing, "And so it begins."
The election of Mamdani, long backed by grassroots movements such as the Democratic Socialists of America and local tenant unions, represents a generational and ideological shift in the city's politics, energizing younger and immigrant voters who have long felt excluded from City Hall.
I didn't think that Virginia was going to do very well. I didn't think the candidate, didn't really have my support. The Cuomo situation, it's just he had too many things against him. I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York.
Well, look, I think the results of this election aren't even a new lesson. We've known for years and years and years that voters don't tend to reward the party in power, and they are very quick to send a message if they think that you're not doing well. I mean, it seems like every first year we have these Virginia and New Jersey elections, and they go to the opposite way of the party in power.
I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name.
However, analysts warn that his ambitious agenda faces steep challenges from budget shortfalls and real estate pressures to managing relations with state and federal leaders skeptical of his left-leaning policies.
Mamdani ran on a platform of tackling New York's soaring cost of living, promising free bus travel, affordable childcare, and city-run grocery stores. His informal style and social media presence helped galvanize younger voters and immigrant communities across the city.
It's good to be back in Nebraska. But now when I'm back in Nebraska, the Democratic Party's back. The Democratic Party's back. That's not hyperbole.
Mamdani will officially assume office on January 1st, 2026, promising to usher in a new era of inclusion, affordability, and dignity for every New Yorker. His victory has already been hailed worldwide, with London's Mayor Sadiq Khan calling it a proud moment for progressives everywhere.
Well, you guys, there were elections last night, and in the age of Trump, you know what that means, bad news for Democrats. And I'm sorry to say there were elections in Virginia, New Jersey, and New York last night, and unfortunately, they did not go the way Democrats had hoped. They went even better. Is this what good news feels? My fingernails are tingling. For more on this, it's time for a closer look.
We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants.
And we all understand the assignment. Our assignment everywhere is to send the strongest fighters for the working class wherever possible. In some places, like Virginia for the gubernatorial seat, that's going to look like Abigail Spanberger. In New York City, unequivocally, it is Zohran Mamdani.
As the celebrations continue across the 5 boroughs, all eyes now turn to how Zohran Mamdani will turn his bold vision into reality.
You're right. Look, we got to talk about the SCOTUS hearing yesterday. The president's legal team defending his use of emergency tariff powers yesterday in an historic Supreme Court hearing. The president did not attend, but Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer were in the room. Greer will join us shortly. Bessent posted this to X.
Just within the last hour, President Trump posting on social media, whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not.
Congress has failed to do so. Mamdani has now placed himself above Congress as a national leader, and he hasn't even taken office yet.
This is SFA News, bringing you the facts, the voices, and the stories that shape our world.